Hello.
Welcome to Wholesale Hotties. Oh my gosh, my thing kept freezing. I'm so sorry. This is a place where ladies in real estate are talking about real estate. I'm your host and MC, Sharon Leah Smith. Welcome to the show. Welcome my co-host Donda Molnix. Hey Donda, how are you today?
Hi.
And my other co-host right up there, Monique Fell. Hi Monique, how are
Hi.
you? And today we have our special guest, Martine Richardson. Martine, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're
Thank
here.
you.
Yay! Welcome to
Thank
Wholesale
you. Thank
Hotties.
you. That was a
Girl, you're such
serious countdown. A serious countdown.
help people get online and get ready to watch the show, and then we have engagement. Oh, look at this. I'm first in live like always, says Louise Martin. Look, check. See, it gives people time to get on the show and then make comments. Hi, Louise. Nice to see you. So, Martine, how are you? Tell us a bit about you. How'd you get into real estate? How are you making ends meet? Are you drowning like the rest of us? Oh my
How
gosh,
much
help!
affecting you? All kinds of stuff.
Jeez, you put you in the ringer. The first question is 10 questions. I
I know.
love
Let
it.
us know. Tell us about you.
So as she mentioned, my name is Martine Richardson. I've been in real estate for 11 years now.
Wow.
I am a buy and hold coach. I got into real estate because I really hated jobs. Like, if I'm just honest, I really hated jobs.
Yes.
I started working actually in middle school. I guess I didn't break any child labor laws. I don't know, but I started working in middle school, and I always would think like, well, once I go to college and I get a job with my degree, that I'm really going to get something that I really, really enjoy. So fast forward, I go to college, JMU for the people that are listening, if you went there. But I would go to college, get my degree in finance. I get a job with my degree, and guess what? I still hate it. It still sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just remember thinking like, you don't even need a degree for this job. Like, this job is not that hard. Anybody can do this. But they use that to like gatekeep, so only certain people could get the job. But
Right.
yeah, so I worked there for a little bit. I was unfulfilled. I did not like it. I remember I got my degree in finance because before I even went to college, I was a part of this insurance company. And it was a guy that was young, doing well in the insurance company, and he had his degree in finance. So I was like, oh, that's the answer. Let me just go get my degree in finance, and I'm gonna come back and work for this insurance company.
Right.
So once I stopped working that job that I got straight out of college, I started working at an insurance company, and I realized I didn't really like it that much. Like, I was like, oh, this is not really for me. Like, if somebody needs to pay their a utility or buy my insurance, I'm gonna tell you to pay the utility. I'm not gonna tell you to buy the insurance. Like, I'm just not that
Right.
person.
Right.
So I really didn't love it. And then I remember my dad telling me that I should get into real estate, and I was like, well, how am I going to get into real estate? I don't have any
Right.
money. I don't know anybody that does it. How am I going to do that? He's like, you're smart. You'll figure it out. Well, he was right. I'm smart. I figured it out. So I
You are.
started hanging out with people that we just wanted more. We were all young and we just wanted more. Like, we didn't just want to work a 9 to 5 and come home unfulfilled. So we would always just pitch stuff to each other. And one of the guys knew that I was interested in real estate. So he gave me the book, How to Quit Your Job in 19 Weeks by Sean Terry.
Nice.
And
Good book.
I read that book, and it was about wholesaling. So
Right.
I was like, man, you could get a property under contract and sell the contract. I've never heard of this before.
Right.
And like, I didn't really take action on that. But I just was like, man, that sounds like a good idea. But
Yeah.
I went through some like really tough times financially because I
Yep.
didn't care about insurance, and it's a commission job. So if you don't if you don't sell, you don't get a check.
Right. Right.
So my car ended up getting repossessed, and the next day I took real estate seriously. I was like, if I could just get enough money to get my car back, I'll just, I'll just wholesale or whatever. But it just made me take it super serious. I wanted to really make it happen. I was having like a drought in terms of getting a deal done. I thought it was a lot easier than what it really was.
Oh
And
yeah.
I would try and I would quit. I would try and I would quit. I'm like, oh, this doesn't work. And then I would quit and then I would try again. And then, but anyway, I eventually made a decision that I was going to keep doing this until it started working for me. And when I made the decision that I was going to keep doing this until it started working for me, I was able to get 5 deals under contract around all around the same time. And I was working a job at the time, like I worked at a private equity company, but I cared about real estate way more than the job. I ended those deals, they were like in title issues where they were like in limbo, like, oh my God, when are we closing? That type of thing. I'm sure you guys can relate.
Oh yeah.
And I ended up getting fired from my job and my deals hadn't closed yet. And I was like, oh God, what am I gonna do? I wanna quit in February, but I'm getting fired in September. It's too early. So I got fired. The next week, 3 of the 5 closed.
Nice.
It was kind of like, to me, it felt like God was telling me, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to focus on this. And, you know, I started with wholesaling because that was all I knew how to do. But eventually, I figured out how to keep these properties. And when I started getting checks for work I did a long time ago, I was like, oh, this is the move for me. This is the move. I need to figure out how to do more of these. So I started focusing on that. And that's what got me into buying and holding. And life's been changed ever since.
Nice. So tell us about your toughest wholesale deal back in the day.
Toughest hold? I got to think back. We're going way back here.
All right.
We're going way back. Let me think. Toughest wholesale deal. Oh, I got one. So out of those first 5, I had one that I assigned, and it was my first 10K check. And like this, I still had a job. I assigned it before I quit. Well, no, I got fired. Excuse me. And when I got that 10, like I didn't get the check yet, but I got it assigned. I sent it all to the title company. I'm like, oh my God, I made $10,000 from this property. Like if they say something wrong to me today, I'm quitting. That was my mindset, right? And as I mentioned, all of these deals had title issues. Like they all closed eventually, but they all had title issues. And it just seemed like the title agent wasn't trying to solve the problems. So, so one of the 10K deal, and specifically, the lady went through a bankruptcy, and it was supposed to, delete all her debts and all that stuff like that. Well, they missed one. One. And because they missed one, that debt was more than what I had the house under contract for.
Oh yeah, that happened to me a couple of times. Yeah.
So I'm like reaching out to the attorney. I'm like, what's going on? What are you going to do to like fix this and all that good stuff? And he's like, well, I've been following up. I've been calling, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, buyer is upset. Buyer is mad. Buyer threatens to sue me. And I'm like, sue me? I don't got nothing. Like, what you coming to get? What you coming to get? Student loans?
Like, not my fault. Right, exactly. Right. Not my fault. The seller had debt. Right, exactly.
Right. It's not much here. So I'd say that probably was one of my hardest, but it was like hard emotionally because that was the first time. I mean, I'm just starting to like get some traction here, and someone's threatening to sue me already. Right. So like it just was a lot emotionally for me. But I ended up just like taking the day off and relaxing and doing things I enjoy, and it helped me get back in a better
right, girl?
Yeah, it got me back in a better space.
Mindset. Yep.
But I realized that I was really passionate about what I was doing, and I knew that it was going to change my life and my family's life, because my mom, when I told my mom, I was like, someone threatened to sue me today for this deal I'm doing. And, she's in mommy protector mode. So she's like, well, once these deals close, maybe you should go get a job. And I snapped. I was like, get a job for what? That's not going to get us ahead. So that's how I knew I was really, really passionate about this. And she was like, well, okay, keep doing it then. Okay. Because I kind of went off, and I didn't mean to go off, but I couldn't believe that she would suggest that, because I was going through a rough time, right? So I just I kept persevering. Whatever obstacles I got, I just kept persevering.
Nice.
She sounds like my mom. Very protective. You're a cheerleader, but wants to they don't have that mindset like we do, and their mindset is the job, the security, and
right.
Yeah,
I think it's a different generation. Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
I think it's natural. It's natural. You want to protect kids, right? Yeah, you want to protect your kids, So I get it, but a job wasn't getting me to where I wanted to be in life.
Right. Yeah. See, my dad would say, go for it. My mom would just okay, be cautious. Maybe the job's a better thing, because that deal didn't go so well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So tell us about your pivot into rentals.
So I got my first rental by accident, and I'm not making this up. I'm listening to Kevin Hart's book where he's like, I can't make this up, right? I can't make this up. I got my first rental by accident, and the reason I got it by accident is because what really got me into real estate and staying consistent after I made the decision was I would go to meetups and I would listen to podcasts. So, I would go to meetups and I would see proof, people in my market doing the thing. And then I would hear it on podcasts, and I'm like, it's just no way everybody's lying, So, so one of the podcasts I used to listen to, it talked about, he told you what to say in the house. And I'm the type of person that, I'll give it a try. if even if it doesn't really make too much sense to me, you're there, I'm not, so I'm just gonna do it. So he would tell you to go in the house, and he would say, ask the seller, would they take a cash offer or would they take payments? And most people just make an offer, but I would ask everyone that, and most people would say, I want a cash offer, because why wouldn't you want a cash offer? But then one guy told me, he was like, oh, I'll take the payments. And in my head, I was like, you'll take the payments? Nobody takes the payments. What's wrong with this guy? Nobody takes the payment. What are you talking about? So I didn't blow my cool though, So
of course not, right?
I'm just thinking this. So I was like, okay, well, let me just see how I'm gonna structure this. And then I'll get back with you to see what we can come up with. Well, what I really wanted to say was, I gotta figure out how to do this, because nobody said they would take the payments. Nobody has ever said they're gonna take the payments. So I don't even know how to do this. So I went to a meetup, and they did the presentation, they did all of that, and I'm like, hey, I went to somebody's house, and they told me they would take the payments. And I don't even know how to structure that. What does that look like? So they helped me structure the deal at the meetup. They were like, oh, well, what's the numbers? And I was showing them what the numbers were. And they were like, okay, well, try this. So I gave them what they told me to say at the meetup. And we negotiated a little bit, but then we finally came to an agreement. And what I did was a lease with an option to buy that house. So what I did was, I think our original agreement was $500 down, $300 a month, or $400 a month, and then I think I was buying the house for $35,000. Not too far from one you told me about before we got off, before we went live.
Yeah.
But so like to be honest, 35 at this time was too much for a house in this area, which shows you how much the times have changed. So we came to an agreement, and then what I did is I found someone that they rented it. They were on a rent to own option where they put $5,000 down. They paid me $700 a month, and then they were buying it from me for $60. So I sandwiched it, and then I started getting checks from that deal way after I did it. And I was like, how do I get more of these? I'm tired of hustling. This is like, I'm out here grinding every day, and I'm not, I'm not a stranger to hard work, but I'm not trying to work hard until I'm like 70. Like, I'm not doing that. Right. So I just realized that it was a smarter way to do things. So because I had the knowledge of finding things for a lot less than what everybody was finding them of, I was wholesaling. Like, you got to find it for less, right? Or nobody's going to buy your property. They're going to tell you this costs too much. But so I was really good at finding really good deals. And then I just started keeping them for myself. So what happened, how I started keeping them for myself is I really started like diving into how can I do more of these. And when I said more of these, it wasn't lease options. I didn't really care about that. What I cared about was continually making money and without doing any more work. Like, I did work 5 months ago, and I'm still getting paid from the work I did 5 months ago.
Exactly. What you cared about was freedom.
Right. And I mean, if you listen to my story, one thing you'll notice is me holding out for something later that's greater in the future isn't foreign to me. Like, I worked when I was in middle school. I worked when I was in high school in hopes to go to college to get a better job. So I would always think long term. I would say, oh, well, in 10 years when I graduate college, this is me in middle school. In 10 years when I graduate college, I'll be doing something I actually love. I'll just, I don't want to say suffer, but I'll just deal with what I got to deal with right now to make it through to where I want to be. But when I found out that you could just, if you got a really, really good deal, you could just get the money from somebody else, and it would be enough to buy it and fix it, and I could keep it. I said, oh no, this is what's meant for me. This is what's meant for me. So I just used my knowledge of buying things at really deep discounts and making sure that private lenders would make really, really good returns on their money lending to me. And it just allowed me to buy properties with no money out of my pocket.
Nice.
How long ago was that when you bought that? I know you said it was pretty cheap. Now you look back, but
let me think.
Because it's before everything went crazy.
This is, I think I got my first rental in 2017.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were just out of
by accident. No, so maybe I look very young, but I'm 36. I will say my age. But yeah, I started when I was 25. So I graduated, I think when I was 23. I went for the extra lap. The extra lap in college. And I worked a little bit, and I started doing real estate when I was 25.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Nice.
So how many rentals do you have now?
Not enough, Donda. Not enough.
That's always the best answer.
Do you have any like small family, like fourplexes and stuff like that, or is it all single family homes?
No, it's all single family. I've had like duplexes before. I don't have any apartments. It's all single family. I like single family. I have noticed that I tend to buy a lot on the same block. So like you can go on a block and
Oh,
I may
so the
own
deal
it.
I was just telling you about is right up your alley, right?
I said 35,000.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right. But this is several years later.
After the craziness. Yeah.
But I like the single family homes. I don't sell too often, but a lot of the times if I am selling something, I might be doing something in like our retirement accounts, because I use real estate to build up our retirement accounts. And or it just like I didn't like the area. Like I remember I had these 4 townhouses like right next to each other. And the area was terrible. Like I could not go there during the day because I felt uncomfortable. And it takes a lot for me to feel uncomfortable in a neighborhood, just to be honest with you. But like it was too much. Like they didn't care. They would do prostitution in daylight, and they were like, look at you, like say something. And I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing. But like that area was like a little bit too hardcore for me. But like it has to be really, really bad for me to be like, oh, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Cool.
So tell us a bit about, then you pivoted into coaching. Tell us about your coaching platform, coaching program. What are you doing? And who is your ideal client for that? All those things. Talk to us about it.
I love it. That's a great question. So I started coaching about a year ago. And the reason I started coaching is because before COVID, I had a meetup. And I had and I have a podcast as well, but I had a meetup. And what'd you say?
I said, we'll get there.
No. I'm just saying, like, but I had a meetup, and I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people would come up to me and they would say, hey, do you mentor? Do you coach? And at the time, I was really focused on my portfolio. I was like, I'm almost financially free, but I ain't there yet. So like, y'all just got to come to the meetup. I can't help you. I got to help me right now. So when I got to the point where I was financially free, I was like, I would really love to help people buy and keep these properties with the knowledge that I have, and they don't have to go through all of these bumps. Because I just know, like, a lot of people, I know this is wholesaling hotties, but a lot of people feel like we have to wholesale first, or we have to be a realtor first. I'm not knocking it. Right. I'm not knocking it. If that's what you want to do, go do that. But you don't have to do that. You can start with buying and holding if you have the right system, if you have the right person that's helping you get there. So I wouldn't say I made a mistake, because I had to get into real estate however I could. But I just don't want people to believe that that's what they have to do to eventually get freedom. You know what I mean? So
I totally agree with you. I think that that wholesaling is the easiest gateway for people with no money, right? And so that's the gateway drug, if you will. But you're right that so many people aren't fit for wholesale, right? I'm a salesperson through and through. I love wholesale, right? I thrive. And once I figured out what wholesale was, I'm like, yes, this is for me. I love it, right? Because I like talking to people. I like pitching deals. I love all of it. I like analyzing deals. So you've seen my deal sheets. It's all the numbers all laid out. You know what I mean? And so like for me, it's fitting. And for me, tenants have been nothing but a nightmare. I just had my podcast released at Tenosa, her first home. You were on her podcast before too. And it was released today. And I told some of my horror stories about tenants. Like for me, buy and hold, short-term only, that's it. Like I don't want long-term tenants. I don't want nightmares like that ever, ever, ever again. Right.
So I'm glad. Oh, when you finish, I want to say I'm glad you said that, but I got something to say, but I want you to finish first.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I think it varies person to person, and I think you're right that if you aren't a sales born type person, wholesale is not going to be for you. And so there's so many ways, and I'm sure you know, right? There's so many ways that you can get into real estate without dealing with wholesaling at all. So go ahead, what were you going to say?
So what I was going to say is when I first became a landlord, I felt like you. Like I was a tired landlord. If you would have called me up and said, you wanna buy my house, I would have been like, yeah. How much you offering? But I think eventually over time, I realized that it was two key factors that I was missing that I really needed to get better on. So like, I would get houses and I would just make them good enough for people to move in. And like, that was a terrible philosophy. So like, you know, like how some people say, oh, well, this is the rental property. So, you know, the rental rehab is only 20, but the flip rehab is 40. I don't agree with that philosophy because why would I make a lesser quality product that I'm going to keep? This makes no sense to me.
Right?
You have to give a quality product. That's the first thing. So like, for instance, that one that I did that I just made it good enough and it was a nightmare. Everything would break. So like, it was a duplex. So like the HVAC on one side would break and then it would break on the other side. The water heater would go and then the next water heater would go. Like everything was breaking because I just made it good enough. And what I realized is that if it looks like it's about to go, you should just replace it. Like my philosophy now is that I want to make sure that this house is going to be maintenance free for the first 5 years at least. So for the first 5 years, I want to make sure it's going to be maintenance free. So that's one headache gone. And the second headache is you have to be really good at vetting people. If you're not good at vetting people, this is going to be a nightmare for you. So, for instance, when I first started, if your money was green, you could move into my place. And I stayed in eviction court because of that. And I was like, oh, green money, you can move in. Come on in. And like, we would all be in eviction court. It was terrible. So I realized what I needed to do to vet these people so that I could give my ideal tenants a wonderful place to stay. And that was a game changer for me because I was giving a quality product, putting a quality person in there. And I mean, if I'm honest, people don't really bother me that much anymore.
Well, and too, Martine, when you do get the house in really good shape, you're going to get, I think, better tenants too, because they're going to, and you'll charge a little bit more because it is a nicer property. So you'll get better quality tenants and they'll take better care of it. And like you said, and then your tip on the maintenance thing too is huge. So yeah,
5 years. That's a good milestone. So go ahead.
It was one like application that I like really looked over. And I think it was because I had a virtual assistant before, so I didn't really look over them that much. She knew what we needed to look at and she would look it up. Anyway, it was one tenant that was moving in and I was doing the verification on them and stuff like that. So like I call your old landlords, preferably for the last 10 years. I want to know where you lived. So I call all your old landlords and this particular tenant, I called their landlord and I asked how long did they live there? She was like 20 years. I was like, wow, it's a long time.
Wow.
But they didn't live there currently. They had already moved. And she was like, they lived here for 20 years. And I was like, well, how many times were they late? And she said 0. I said, they were never late in 20 years? It was unbelievable to me. And
was
then so like
mom? Was it their aunt?
No, it wasn't. So I started asking questions like, you know, how easy were they able to be communicated with? Like if you needed to do an inspection, was it easy for you to get in the house? If you needed them to do something, was it easy? Like would they do it? Stuff like that. And she was like, they were very cooperative. Anything I needed, they would do. Huh. So like when she answered all of these questions, my last question was, well, why don't they live there anymore? Because they sound amazing. Why don't they live there anymore? And she said, well, my house was so run down that I could not fix it with them living in it. And they never complained about it. And I said, oh, wow. So anyway, like they checked all the boxes, income, all that good stuff. They move into my place exactly the same. Pay on time, pay early, never complain about anything, really love the place. So if you really do like really good checks on people, you're gonna get really good people that are gonna enjoy a really good product.
I was also told the tip that I think is good when they come to walk your property with you, look inside their car.
Mm-hmm.
Is it full of junk and food, and do they take care of it? You know, they're more
yeah, I've heard that tip too. I think that's a really good tip. I feel like when I call the landlords, like
definitely.
the landlord that they live with, they might lie a little bit because they're trying to get rid of them. But the landlord that is before that, they have nothing to lose. Right. You know, like they're already gone. They don't have anything to lose, so why would they lie? So I just realized like what that person said was exactly true about that particular tenant.
Yeah.
That's really good insight. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Maybe I might dip in again or not. We'll see.
So I'll say this. I'll say this. Like I do wholesale some. Like right now, I still wholesale some, but only to people like that's my friends.
Right. Yeah.
So like if it's like something I get, I'm gonna monetize off of it, even if it's not something that I ideally would want. But I know that they might want that, so I'll send it to like one of my friends. So I mean, I'm not gonna act like I don't wholesale at all. I do some wholesaling, but it's just mainly buy and hold.
Right. Just the ones you don't want. Yeah, gotcha. So you are doing all the self-managing on your real estate properties?
I do. Yeah, I do. And I have regular long-term rentals, and I have mid-term rentals as well, which are okay. I actually, and this is probably the first place I've said this, but I'm actually launching a company where we're going to co-host for people that are doing mid-term and short-term rentals, because we've really systemized that process, and I don't want to do it. So the reason I'm doing this is because it's solving my problem, but then it can also solve some other people's problems. Oh yeah. I don't want to talk to the people. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't want to answer your questions about where is the remote, what's the Wi-Fi. I don't want to do that. No, leave me alone. So I think it would be solving, my problem, and then also other people that want to get into that space, but they're thinking it's going to be a lot too much work if we just take it over for you. Because my system is already good. It's just that I don't want to talk to them. So
that's fair.
I'm just being honest. I wanted to be passive.
Yeah. That's understandable. The midterm rentals that you have, are you focusing on a particular niche, like, traveling nurses, or, insurance or whatever?
It's not necessarily like that specific, like if they are nurses or insurance. It's more so just people coming into town for work. So like we found a lot of people that come into town, like surprisingly, you get a lot of electricians that come into town for work. We get a lot of people in construction. We do get nurses. We had like a marketing agency that would come every single year to come into town to sign people up for stuff. So like it's really, the target is people coming into town for work.
Right. Right. What platforms are you using to market?
Airbnb. You just have to change. You have to, that's it. Because Furnished Finders, I didn't like it. It's too old school. I need to have my automation working, and Airbnb works really well with automation. Like I'm at the point in my life, I don't want any more active income. Like unless I'm coaching you to better your life. Right. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. So, I don't want to do that. Like, I only have 24 hours in a day. My family is very important to me. I'm not giving up my family time for nothing just because you want to know what the Wi-Fi password is. Leave me alone. So
Right.
I use Airbnb, but the way that you get people that are only
Right.
traveling for work is you have to say that you have a minimum stay requirement. So you have to say, a 30-day minimum, or, whatever, however long you want them to stay, so that you would only get people traveling for work.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Well, cool. Ladies, anything else we want to talk to Martine about while we have her? She's been such a delight.
So let me ask you, Martine.
You've been all quiet, Monique. I knew I'd get you. Go ahead.
I know. She was waiting.
I don't want you guys are just like going, man. It's like, oh, I'm not going to get in the middle of that one. So tell me a little bit about, like, you don't want to trying to make any more active income from yourself. You're coaching. You have properties that you sometimes wholesale. You have properties that you buy in whole. So where do you say, how many doors would you say you're at right now?
Not enough. That's always going to be my answer. Not enough. You got another deal to send me?
Well, we over here, I'm in Washington State, so we're buying houses for $500,000. So to find
you can buy so many more houses here. Just come by here. Like, come on.
I
if you want to buy a house
right now,
I have a couple older homes I'm
and
selling.
will manage for you.
If you want to buy a house here, if you want a mid-term or short-term rent it, we'll manage it for you. We'll do it. Well, we'll co-host for you. I'm not a realtor. I can't say manage.
That's right. Co-host.
We'll co-host for you.
I got a great deal.
I will say this. I have enough properties to be financially free. I make enough passive income to sustain my life, and we live a really good life. And now I just want to help other people do the same thing.
I love that.
And who's we in your life? You talk about family. Who's we in your life? You talk about family.
So I'm married. My husband, Randall. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but my daughter's in the back, talking very loudly. My daughter.
Oh my gosh, girls, her daughter is so stinking cute.
She's 2. And I take great pride that her life looks a whole lot different than my life looked when I was 2. We recently went on vacation, maybe I think less than a month ago. We went on vacation and we went on a cruise for like 2 weeks. And I was like, girl, you living the life. When I was 2, we didn't go on no cruises. We didn't do this. So it's mainly my husband and my daughter.
And does your husband help you in the business at all?
A little bit. I'll say a little bit. I don't know. I like to be a boss, and he like to be a boss, and we can't be having too many bosses in one space. It doesn't really work too well. Yeah. I mean, in some things where we clearly, define the roles. But no, he does his own thing. So it's mainly me doing this, and then he does his own thing.
Nice. So if somebody wanted to invest with you, Martine, would that be? You said you pay your private money lenders well. What is the rate that you pay them roughly between?
Well, that's a great question. Let me ask you, how much would you be looking to get?
That's good.
You tell me how much you want, and we see if we can meet somewhere in the middle.
We'll see if you got something in the portfolio that can fit that.
I will say most of them in large get double-digit returns, so it's really good for them. They don't have to do anything. I do what I say I'm going to do, and you don't have to worry really. Like if you really care that much, you can just, text me or email me and I'll let you know what's going on. But most of them, the lenders I work the best with, they trust that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, and then I deliver and they're happy, and then they lend to me again.
So you just do like monthly payments to them like you would a bank?
Well, it depends. That's a great question, but it depends because a lot of the times, if I'm doing a rehab on a project, if I'm not making money from the house, if I'm paying you, that's kind of like self-sabotaging, to be honest. Like I'm not making money and I'm taking my rehab money to pay you. if I like to structure it, if I'm not making money, if you can just accrue the interest or accrue the payment until we're finished, it's usually about a 6-month loan, that it's really, really helpful for me because I can use all the money for the rehab and I don't have to worry about making that monthly payment. But, you know, some people, they don't want to do that, which is fine. So, I mean, sometimes I'll do it, but I like to structure the deal with how the deal looks. So if the deal is making money, sure, I'll pay you every month. But if the deal isn't producing any money right now, I don't see, like, I try to really like ration with my lenders, like, I'm not making money off this house yet. Can we just give you your return on the back end? And most of them say yes.
So are you burying these? Are you like doing the rehab and
you know it?
Yeah, okay. That makes
You
sense.
know it. And then we get a nice, because I like to buy stuff cheap. That you get a nice big check most of the time when you are refinancing it, even in a high interest rate environment.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. So if you were starting over today, and this was what would be your first 3 moves? What would you do? And what would you tell a newbie that's never done any real estate?
Good question, Donda. Woo! First
That's
3
a great
moves.
question. So I'm new. I don't know anything. I want to be successful. Well, first, what's my goal? Am I trying to be passive or I'm trying to be active?
Yeah.
I guess I'm asking you, Donna, am I passive or active?
Oh, gotcha. Just active, I guess, as a newbie, trying to be active, trying to create that today money.
Okay. If you want today money and you want to be active, I think wholesaling is a good approach for you to go to. But me, if you're similar thinking to me, I like to think long term. I'd like to think freedom. I like to think getting passive income every month. I would suggest you start with buying and holding. And so you don't make a lot of mistakes, I would suggest you hire someone to help you. Hire someone to help you make less mistakes. Like, you're still probably going to make mistakes, but it would be a lot fewer than you would make if you were guiding yourself. So especially like if somebody already has the relationships, if they're in the same area as you and stuff like that, then that's a no-brainer to me. I mean, not every coach, but I've had maybe 3 people really, really help me in real estate. And 2 of them were in Richmond and 1 wasn't. Yeah. And I learned how to buy the stuff at a deep, deep discount from the one that wasn't in Richmond. But it just has been very valuable for me. Like, I'll just give you an example. The one that showed me how to build stuff, like to get things under contract for like way, way low, they had a coaching group and I was the only one in Richmond in the group. So I would go up to DC and I would meet with all the people that were in DC that were in the group. And they would tell me what they were doing in their market. And I would just come back to Richmond and do it. And I went from my average, I think, wholesale fee being maybe like $5,000 or $6,000 to my average fee being $20,000. And it was just because I would do what they told me to do that was working for them here. So I think it's really valuable collaborating with people, but you just can't collaborate with anybody. Like, it can't be the blind leading the blind, you know? Like, it has to be some sort of direction. It has to be someone with some know-how, someone that can kind of like guide you in case you get off course. They can put you back on the right course. So if I'm new, I'm starting over, I'm finding someone that's already on the path that I want to be on. And then if it's me, I'm going straight to buy and hold. If you want to be active, that's fine. You can be active. I think wholesaling is a great way to be active. I wouldn't go to flipping to be active because you can make as much wholesaling as you would flipping. Yes. So like, why would you do that? Like, you might as well just wholesale. But I would go straight for the buy and holds and build my portfolio up from the start, because the biggest thing with real estate is today's price isn't tomorrow's price. So I wouldn't want to wait 5-10 years from now to start buying and holding when the price it goes from 35 to 220.
Right.
So it just makes more sense. You get in as early as you can and get somebody to help you get there.
So can you share that secret sauce that they shared with you and that group when the wholesaling, like the thing that they did to help you find good discounts?
I don't know if it was really a secret sauce. I think I was just afraid to do it before. Like, I just would make lower offers. It
wasn't like you
I would
went
just
on the site or you went to the auctions or anything like that. It was just you learned to get brave about making your offers.
Yeah, I would say this. The biggest thing that I got was I don't know if you guys ever read the book Go for No, but
yes,
my first
I love
offer,
that book. See, I'm telling you, it's all about sales, baby. Go ahead. Yes.
My first offer, I would expect you to say no to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I'm going low so you can tell me no. But a lot of time people will be like, well, and then I was like, oh, I'm working with something. And
That's
then
right.
like something else I really learned is back then, we didn't really touch on this that much, but I don't do any cold marketing anymore. All I do is referral based business. You have to send me the lead. I'm a trusted source. But I used to do cold marketing, direct mail specifically. And we would get a lot of like undelivered direct mail. So one guy told me to look those people up on Facebook, and I found one. And I probably found more than one, but one that comes to mind is I found one of the people on Facebook. Nobody had reached out to them because everybody was direct mailing at the moment. So I guess I'm dating myself to how long I was cold marketing, right? Because nobody does that anymore. But and I ended up wholesaling that contract and making $40,000. So it was just like little tips like that, like go for no, and if you get all of this return mail, these are actually valuable leads. Try to turn those into deals because nobody else is reaching out to them.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point. So can you, what kind of ARV are you looking for? You know, that rule, 70% of ARV. So when you're buying and holding, are you doing that 1% rule typically with your
No, I don't do that. I do just regular 70% minus the repairs. But I will say that once I do 70% minus the repairs, I'm usually not going for that number for my offer. I'm just going to be upfront with you, like just to make the number simple. You know, let's say it was $100,000. The house is worth $100,000. 70% is $70,000. So let's say that, I don't know, the rehab is 30. So the most I can buy it for is 40. Martine's not coming in at 40. Martine might come in at 15. Something low, because I know every dollar I save, every dollar I can get this lower is going to be $1 in my pocket when I refinance this bad boy. Right. So I want to get it as low as possible because I'm looking to get a big check when I'm refinancing my properties, because I want to keep making money every single month. But then I also want the tax-free check. Like, I mean, maybe I'm greedy, but that's what I like to do.
Right. Well, I mean, and too, as a wholesaler, you would have to take off something to make some money on that too. So you're used to offering less than the 70 minus the rehab. You have to offer less.
Yeah, I think when people are like giving you pushback on, well, you know, it's 70 minus what I say, 30, so 40 was the most that you could buy it for, and they're like, oh, I have to offer 40. I think they're just making assumptions in their head that the person wouldn't take it. Like, they're afraid of hearing no. You're not gonna die if someone tells you no. Like, I've had people kick me off the porch. I'm still here. Like, like, you gotta, yes, I want to help you, but I also am not doing this for free. Like, I want to make a profit. This is a for-profit business. I want to help you, but I'm also helping me. I'm not going to help you at the expense of me. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not doing that. And that's a formula for you not being in business for a long time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
What would you say your average home is where you're at right now that is selling out in that area?
Like, what's the ARV?
The average sale price around there?
We have some that are, I think the lowest right now, because everything's going up so much. I think the lowest might be around 220, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
like that's the lowest ARV. And then probably the highest that still really works for a rental is like right below 400. So maybe like 380, 375, something like that. It's really hard to make it work for a rental when it's over 400 in this area.
Yeah, numbers definitely have to work. So are you like ones that it's kind of tight, or you having better luck doing the midterm rental with them because you furnish them, you rehab them, and they actually usually bring in a little bit more money versus long term?
Well, I always buy my stuff based off of long term. Like I'm really I'm a stickler on the numbers. Like if those numbers don't work, I don't think, oh well, if I just midterm rent it, I could make more. No, Martine ain't doing that.
I'm out.
If it doesn't work for a regular long-term rental, I'm not interested. Like I am not interested because they keep changing the laws all the time. What if they shut down my midterm business? What am I going to be? Shit out of luck? I don't think so. So I'm always evaluating stuff off of the long-term rents, and then if I can midterm rent it, then that's a bonus.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you getting most of them on market or off market deals?
Off market. I've only bought one deal on the MLS in my entire career. And the only reason that I bought off the MLS is because the realtor liked me. I feel like she felt like she owed me because I had sent her a really good deal or something. And she just was like, oh, I know they'll short sell this one. You want to buy it? But everything's off market.
So out of your offers, how many, like, would you say for every 10 offers you get one, or is it a larger number that you're working with? Do you kind of watch?
It's way less. It's less than that because my leads aren't cold. So like, for instance, I develop relationships not only with wholesalers or realtors, but just like mortgage brokers, property managers, with code violation people, the water shut off company. Like I've developed relationships with these types of people that are going to come across what I'm looking for. So when I'm making an offer, usually I'm coming from somebody that they know, like, and trust. If they don't know, like, and trust me, they know, like, and trust them. So when I'm coming to make my offer, usually I'm leaving with a contract signed. I wouldn't say it's not like 100%, but I would say maybe 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 is a contract sign.
Nice.
That's good. That's really good.
That just shows the power and the importance of relationships.
Yep.
It's just like the thing about it is that because I do everything referral based, and that's how I teach it. I teach people how to do referral based because a lot of people think that, oh, well, you've been in it 11 years. Of course you can do it referral based. But it's like, no, if you focus on building on building relationships and people really trust that you know what you're going to do, that you're doing, you know what you're doing, they're going to send you the deals. But when you're doing stuff referral based, that I'm coming in and I'm talking to the seller and they're telling me about all the people that cold called them. They're telling me about all the people that text blast them. They're telling me about all the people that sent them mail. And I'm like, I know. And they're signing a contract with me because I came from somebody that they know they wouldn't send me if I wasn't coming to help them.
Right. Exactly. I think that's such a key takeaway for all of us, right? Is that position ourselves in such a way that we are known as the person coming to help. Right.
Like position yourself as the expert. If you are in this situation, I know the solutions to get you out of this situation. And you can choose if you want to pick one of these solutions or not. But I know how to get you out of it. Like, so,
Right.
And then when you're coming from somebody that they trust, it's really like, you don't have to, it's no like wall you have to break down or anything like that. Like, they're just like forthcoming with the information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's great.
Yeah,
Monique, do you got anything else? We got 2 more minutes left.
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure I can come up with something here. So you've done a really good job of explaining what you do and sharing all the information. Do you find that, I mean, obviously you work with people who refer you, and that makes a huge difference building those relationships. Do you find at this time in your stage in your life, are you really going out there and hustling to build more relationships, or are you dependent more on the relationships you've already built?
I don't know if I will consider it hustling. Like, I'll give you an example. I truly believe hustle is for a season, and I have passed that season, so I don't hustle as much as I used to. But like, for instance, I'm having an event tomorrow that's called Freedom Fest, and I know this probably is going to be a question, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I'm having an event tomorrow that's called Freedom Fest, and we have a pretty good turnout coming, and that's going to build so many relationships, not just for me, for the people that are attending. So much money is going to be made. This is the reason I like to do these types of events, because I'm inviting people that are from all sorts of, like, I got the mortgage person here, I got the insurance guy here, I got the private lender here, I got the deal maker here. Like, I got everybody in the room. So everybody gets to talking, and then they start connecting and they start making deals happen. And like, it may not happen today, but a lot of money is going to be made from those connections. So what I'm saying is, I don't really hustle too hard, but I do a lot of the things that I enjoy doing. What I like to do is I like hosting events. That's really fun to me. Not meetups. I don't like doing those. But I do like having like really fun events. So like Freedom Fest is like music, networking, nobody's preaching, none of that stuff. But it's just genuinely building strong connections. And then I really love coaching, because it feels really good when you teach somebody how to do something that changes their life.
Yeah.
How many people do you coach on a regular basis? Is it a group coaching, or is it one-on-one type of coaching?
I got one-on-one, and then I also have group. And then the same answer as the rentals. Not enough. More people need to be in the program. No, but we got a decent sized group. It's good. I got 46% success rate so far. Some people are moving a little bit slower than others, but they're doing it like on their own terms, which I'm okay with. I'll say for one-on-one coaching, I got 100% success rate. Like, they come in, they don't play. And it's just been really good. It's really fulfilling. I really enjoy seeing the light bulb go off for people, because they've been trying to do this for so long. They don't know how to do it. They've been looking for answers, can't find the answers. And now they got somebody that's willing to help them. And I show them what to do. So they're like eager, because they've been wanting to do this for so long. And then like they go out there and do it, and it works. And they're like, oh my God, it's real.
Do you partner them? Do you partner with your coaching students?
No, it's their deal. I don't want any money off their deal. It's their deal. Like, I think, and you bring up a good point. I think it's better to pay someone to either help or consult you, instead of partnering with people, because when you partner, in my opinion, I don't know if you guys are partners or not, but in my opinion, when you partner, you leave, you could have made more money. And if you just got somebody that already knew what they was doing and you just paid them to do it, you would spend less than you would spend if I partner with you. So I would prefer you to make more money.
Yeah. Nice. I love it. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so I'm going to wrap this up. Martine, it was fantastic hanging with you tonight. We had a great time. You have some great stories. So thank you so much for coming on. And
likewise, I enjoyed this.
It was great. So much information that we learned today from you. And I hope a lot of the other people out there will learn much from you, and then to maybe even get you some new clients to help you actually get them where they want to be.
Exactly.
That need
I mean, that would be awesome, but I do have a free buy and hold group if you guys just want to get a dabble before you like commit to a coach. It's called the Freedom Inc. I think it came. Yeah, there it is. The Freedom Inc. It's on Facebook. It's 4 questions that you have to answer. Just answer the 4 questions, and I'll let you in the group. Every Tuesday night, I do a case study where I show you a real deal that either me or somebody in the fam, that's the people that's in the coaching program, that we've done, and we show you how to buy it with $0 out of your pocket. You can do an entire deal and keep it and not use any of your own money. And these are beginners. Like, it's not like they've been in here for 11 years. This is their first deal. They use none of their own money.
And all the case studies
I love that. That's so amazing and such a great way to give back to the community and the people that have, and please forgive me. I think I butchered your name earlier. So
no, it's all right. I'm used to it.
My granddaddy always used to say, "Just don't call me late for supper." Tell me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for supper.
Unless you're making oatmeal.
Or spinach.
So yeah, this is her Facebook group, and you can find out information about Freedom Fest if anyone's in the Richmond area. Come on out to Freedom Fest on
tomorrow, 6 to 8. It's gonna be lit.
Awesome! Congrats.
On her Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, she's got information up. So. Good night, ladies.
Good night. Thank you again, Martine.
Thank you, Martine.
No problem.
Where'd it go?